The UN warning of a looming catastrophe. No aid trucks have since reached the region. Joining me now live is Senior Advocate for East and Southern Africa at Refugees International, Abdullahi Halakhe. Abdullahi, very good to have you with us to talk about something which is increasingly awful, the world's worst humanitarian crisis, and really difficult for us to get information out of Al-Fasher in particular. What are you hearing from there?
I think the conditions are getting worse. It's not getting any better. It doesn't get the attention that is required from, leaders who can make things happen inside Sudan. It is so desperate, but also it is an indication of where we are. 20 years ago, the world was mobilized for Darfur. Darfur was declared a genocide. ICC, for the first time, UN Security Council referred the case to the ICC. Things moved. 20 years down the road, now Sudan is facing on one side of the country, there is famine, and on the other side, there is an ongoing genocide.
Are there any local aid groups that are able to operate in Sudan to try and help? We've been hearing already today about how difficult it is for international aid agencies to get their convoys of trucks in.
It is a very desperate situation, but one of the glimmers of hope and probably an opportunity that others could also get behind, that the Sudanese response room have stayed the course since the beginning of this conflict. They've been able to deliver. They have been the last mile of delivery of humanitarian aid, despite all the problems that we have. But it is very desperate, and they will not be able to go on forever, particularly during rainy season like this, when access, because of safety, but also impossibility of the roads, it becomes really difficult. Women and children are really at the end of their tethers.
And Abdullahi, how bad is the cholera situation now?
It is bad. It is bad because aid that has been cut by the United States and other countries that have followed suit have made it very, very difficult because humanitarian groups know how to deliver aid, how to deal with malnutrition, how to deal with cholera outbreak, because they have optimized for that for a very long time. But without adequate aid, just to give you a sense, only 23% of Sudan's humanitarian aid requirement for this year, and we are almost, the last quarter of this year, has been received. So for many humanitarian groups are desperately trying to reach Sudan's, mutual aid groups are desperately trying to reach as many people as they can. But there is only so much that they can do without external support on a large scale. It is very desperate. It's not just cholera. It is malnutrition. It is women being raped, SGBV being used, that is sexual and gender-based violence, used as a tool of war.
And Abdullahi, 13 million people displaced. Some, of course, have made it to neighboring countries. What's the situation like in camps in Chad, for instance?
Situation in camps are very, very, very difficult because, for many, Chad has been a home for many Sudanese. They share heritage, that people go in and out. But Chad, let's remember, is one of the most poor countries in the world. There is only so much that it can do. Even before the outbreak of this conflict, they were hosting 0.3 million Sudanese. Last month, I was in Ethiopia, and I met a Sudanese gentleman who said to me, Abdullahi, why has the world forgotten us? He cannot secure his refugee status because he was told he really has to go to the camp. That is the only way he can get any support. But the horrors that he faced trying to move from Sudan, running away from gunmen, paying an inordinate amount of money just to ensure his safety. Thankfully, his wife and child are in Dubai now, but he can't get out because he doesn't have the money to get himself to safety outside.
That is one small piece of good news, though, that his wife and child are safe and okay. Abdullahi, thank you so much for joining us, shining a light there on the world's worst humanitarian situation.
My pleasure.
Let's